First item on the agenda are the minutes. Are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes? If none, I'd entertain a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed signify by no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda are counts. There's no vote required. If you have any question on the counts, please give us the page number and the line item. I'm sorry, the line item number. Any questions on the count? Okay. Next item on the agenda are delegations. We have the police department has a presentation they're going to do tonight. I'm going to ask the aldermen if they would go down and sit down up front as they do the presentation, and we'll come back up afterwards.
This isn't going to take long. We each year we look back at what our officers do, and they do a lot of work that's really not known. Nobody knows what they do, and there's a lot of stuff that they're not recognized for that they do. So tonight we went back. I wish I had an award for all of my officers because they all do a good job. But I've got 4 that I want to present life-saving awards for tonight. I'm going to ask, as I call your name, on the officer to come up. Assistant Chief Crowe is going to read the citation, and then we're going to present it to him. First, Sergeant Michael Rhodes.
Citation by the direction of the Chief of Police. The Life-Saving Citation Award is presented to Sergeant Michael Rhodes. On Friday, August 26, 2022, Sergeant Michael Rhodes, while working the second shift, responded to a 911 call of an unresponsive male. Upon arrival, Sergeant Rhodes observed an unresponsive individual at the residence. This individual had already turned a bluish-purple color and was not breathing. A family member had begun CPR on the male. Sergeant Rhodes, without hesitation, assessed the situation and immediately administered 2 doses of Narcan to the victim. Once Narcan was administered to the victim began breathing on his own. Sergeant Rhodes' actions epitomized the best police officer qualities of motivation, commitment, and selfless service. His exceptional and timely efforts in rendering medical aid to an unresponsive victim was very instrumental in the saving of this individual's life.
Officer Jonathan Menzie.
Citation by the direction of the Chief of Police. This life-saving citation award is presented to Officer Jonathan Menzie. On Saturday, October 15, 2022, Officer Jonathan Menzie being assigned to patrol duties while working the second shift responded to a 911 call of an individual that had been shot. Upon arrival, Officer Minzy observed an individual laying on the floor in a pool of blood. The individual had been shot once in the hip and once in the upper leg. The individual was bleeding badly due to his injuries and had lost a lot of blood. Officer Minzy, without hesitation, applied a tourniquet to the victim's leg and applied pressure to the wound the victim suffered to his hip. Officer Minzy held pressure to the wound, all while keeping the scene safe and secure until EMS arrived on the scene. Officer Minzy's actions epitomize the best police officer qualities of motivation, commitment, and selfless service. His exceptional and timely efforts in rendering medical aid to a gunshot victim was very instrumental in saving the individual's life.
Officer Bradley Ross.
By direction of the Chief of Police, this life-saving citation award is presented to Officer Bradley Ross. On Sunday, May 15, 2022, Officer Bradley Ross, being assigned to patrol duties while working the second shift, responded to a 911 call of an unresponsive infant. Upon arrival, Officer Ross observed the infant unresponsive. Officer Ross, without hesitation, administered CPR and made a diligent effort to save the child's life. Officer Ross' actions epitomize the best police officer qualities of motivation, commitment, and selfless service. His exceptional and timely efforts in rendering medical aid to an unresponsive victim is to be commended.
Officer Whitney Watkins.
Citation by the direction of the Chief of Police. This life-saving citation award is presented to Officer Whitney Watkins. On Sunday, April the 10th, 2022, Officer Whitney Watkins, being assigned to patrol duties while working the second shift, responded to a 911 call of an unresponsive female. Upon arrival, Officer Watkins observed an unresponsive individual in the rear of the residence. A family member had begun CPR on the female. Officer Watkins, without hesitation, took over assisting with CPR on this female. Officer Watkins also administered Narcan to the victim after determining this was a possible overdose. Officer Watkins' actions epitomize the best police officer qualities of motivation, commitment, and selfless service. Her exceptional and timely efforts in rendering medical aid to an unresponsive victim is to be commended. Let's give them all another hand.
Next item on the agenda, under delegations, is Mr. Stuart Brown is here from Chester County High School, project graduation. If you please come up.
High School. And to my right is Fonte Burnett. He is the student council member at Chester County as well. I'm here with fellow seniors who came in support. Tonight, I want to talk about a little event going on called Project Graduation. So what this event's president is Teresa Connor, and this event is set for Monday, May 15th, following the graduation ceremony. This event will be held at Freed-Hardeman University in the Brewer Sports Complex. And our goal with this event is to provide a safe and fun night where we as a class can spend one last time together before we venture off on our separate ways. And our hope with this is to provide jumpers, games, food, and music throughout the event, and it will be an alcohol and drug-free event taking place from 10 p.m. that night to 6 a.m. the next morning. And as far as what we've done to try and make this possible, we've planned fundraisers. We have a fundraiser planned around Christmas, but it was conflicted with other events, so it was canceled. But what we have done so far is a hoodie and sweats fundraiser that raised around $400. We had a Krispy Kreme donut sale that raised around $3,000, I believe. And we have planned for this month a burger plates ticket sale fundraiser from Snookums. And in March, we have a pork chop plate ticket sale. And for April, we have candy bar sales and a possible Ford test drive event as well. And so to date, we've collected a little around $7,000 to $8,000-ish. And our hope is to raise somewhere close to $20,000 to $25,000 if possible. And we plan to do another hoodie day and ask you for corporate donations, as well as planning other events possible before we graduate. And so tonight, I'm here to request a possible donation. In the past, the event has been attended by approximately 50 to 60% of the class, but we hope for more people to come this year, and we hope to once again provide a safe and fun night, and with your help, we hope we can make that possible.
I know we have some set aside in our budget for project graduation. I believe it's $500 in the June.
The city general fund has $500, and
Police department has 500.
Yeah.
So we usually give $1,000.
total.
Well, I make a motion on behalf of the city to contribute our $500 to that.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Well, you pick anybody you want to pick on the second. Seeing that, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, signify by no. It's a good job, thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good job.
Thank you, guys. Next item on the agenda is item D, discuss City Hall renovation progress, and approve the expected changeover for the repair of leaking windows. Jim?
Okay, we spoke to y'all last week or week before. We had a work session planned and advertised, but due to the ice the other night, it got canceled. So we reached out by phone to discuss this major change order on the windows. We were all aware of the window issue when we bid the project, but it was not included as part of the initial bid because we needed to evaluate the situation and get an actual quote on the windows. We did receive that from the contractor. The information is in your pamphlet there. We also went around and looked at each individual window, myself, Brent, the mayor, and made decisions on which windows really need to be pulled out and repaired to stop the leaking, to keep issues from continuing. We're having some deterioration of window sills and sheetrock below the windows, etc. Y'all are familiar with it. Y'all seen it and aware of it. As we said, we ended up roughly about 75 to 80% of the windows in the building are going to have to be pulled out and redone. And that is going to be costly. We told you the final cost was going to be around $75,000. It ended up to be, this change order was $73,320 to do the windows. We have a couple other smaller change orders that are included in your packet to bring you up to date on everything that's happened since we started the project. Right now, we have added approximately counting the windows, we've added about $78,540 to the contract, to the original contract. So basically, we're just asking for your final approval, even though the contractor has already been given permission to go ahead and order the materials needed to pull the windows out. They said it may be close to 3 weeks before they get those materials in, where they can actually start doing it.
I think several of us mentioned to you that when you called us individually, that this was the time to do it. Didn't make any sense not to do the repairs, try to do the other work and end up making a mess of the new stuff. So I still say we've got to spend that money to protect the investment in City Hall.
probably need
Need a motion.
to approve change orders 1 through 4, if that's okay. And if you have any questions about the other ones, the first one was a roof issue we had over here in the new area on this floor, that they recommended the $1,770 change to repair that roof. The next one was really no fault of our own. They put a sink in that new classroom, but did not do the plumbing details on it. So the contractor did not bid the plumbing for that sink, which is a little weird. So on one page it showed it, the next page there was no plumbing detail. So that was $3,450 for because they're going to pour the concrete floor and do that for the supply and the drains. There was a small change in the brand of the ice maker, which was a deduction of a whole $300, because the one we spec was going to be 6 to 8 months delivery date, which would be well after the project was over. And then, of course, the big one is the windows.
Did the roof, now they've checked it thoroughly, and that's the only,
They say that is the only place they're expecting it to leak. Now, I did not walk it today, today would have been the first day to walk around it again, and I just never got around to doing that. Really remind me to walk around tomorrow and check again to make sure that what they did fix it. And that was leaks in this new, what will be the new classroom over here. They felt like it was coming in the roof, around the roof drain, and running across the decking underneath the roofing, and then coming down the wall, is what they were saying was happening, so.
On those windows, are there any kind of guarantee that they are?
There is a 1-year warranty on the whole project, so there will be a warranty as far as that goes. Now, after the 1 year runs out, I don't feel like there'll be a stated warranty on the windows after that point.
well, you know, we have this problem due to poor installation.
Mhm.
So it was the contractor who built this building is the reason we're doing this.
Yeah, we feel
So
like-
what do we have with this contractor?
Really, as I say, other than 1 year warranty, you're not really gonna have any guarantees specified as far as the
Do
windows.
you know how to install good windows?
I do, but like I said, this windows that were installed here were done as all windows were done at that time.
There is some changes, let's back up. There is some changes on the windows getting installed. Jim, I'll let you or Brent want to explain what the problem was on the windows.
The windows, when they were installed, there's basically an L frame that's underneath the windows. And what this L frame is supposed to do is any water gets in or behind that window, it's supposed to push that water out. The only problem is on the original install, and according to the architect and the contractors that I've talked to both, the old way they did it was just put the L and it ended at the edges of the window. And so what's happened, once the water got into that tray, basically, it did not run out, it ran to the ends and fell into and down the window sills. And over time, because we've been here 22 years, it's been seeping in at the corners of the windows. And that's what what they're doing is when they pull the windows out, they're going to be putting another channel of metal underneath the window with ends in it, basically like a boat, where the only way the water can go if it gets in there is outward. There'll be no way for it to get out the ends and come down in the window sills. So that's the way they expect is going to plan to repair it.
Well, I know y'all can't stand out and watch them put every window, but periodically walk around and make sure they're.
We will, trust me, we will.
I mean, we've had enough of this.
I agree.
Make a motion to approve change orders 1 through 4.
Have a motion to approve the change order. Have a second.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, signify by no. Motion carries. Next item, it's another business. Jim, update on utility training requirements for the Alderman.
I talked to you, most of all y'all before the meeting. New this year, you know, the board members have been having to undergo 12 hours of utility board training every 3 years. That started about 4 years ago, I believe. As such, that's been going along, and this year the comptroller's office decided that they needed for every board member to sign an annual statement saying how much training they got that past year. These are due, turned in to me by January 31st. Of course, this is all brand new this year, so I have y'all to look at the forms and sign those tonight. Some of y'all got a little training last year at the TML conference that some of us went to. Some of you received no training. But this is done every year. It's no problem turning in no training in the past year. They just wanted you to document it. So, I've showed you the forms, y'all signed the forms. I think, Donna, we still gotta confirm your training hours that you got. Everybody else, Snookum, Bill, Jason, and Michael aren't required to get any more training for about 2 to 3 more years on theirs, because they just got completed and their election date's different. The other 3 of you, Donna, Keith, and Mark, will be required to have the full 12 hours by the end of this calendar year. So you got, 10 more months to get the final hours you need. Each one of y'all have 4 to 5 hours of training already through this conference. And we'll be probably getting others this year. There are some online training you can take at your home that will suffice for part of the hours. But they will not let you take the same exact training you did online if you did it the first time. Now, I think most of y'all did the comptroller's online training. But they have added some sessions that you can take. So they will get
Or maybe 5 hours that we can get.
Well, basically, y'all had 12 to start with, so most of y'all took the 12 hours, and I think they told me the other day by email that they have 19 hours now. So that may be another 7 hours that y'all could get. 6 or 7 hours that you could get online without even leaving your home. They also said there's a possibility that we could do some in-house training. I could actually hold a training session and present them a syllabus, basically, of what we're going to be covering, and they can improve that for some of the hours too. So that would be, I won't say worst case scenario, but that would be an option.
We do have a utility budget session coming up. and
That could count, yes,
That would be a good opportunity.
yes. So, and a very knowledgeable utility director that can teach a lot, so.
There you go.
So, yeah, so that may be an option, but we do have to get pre-approval from the comptroller's office. So be aware that this form's gonna be coming in front of you each and every year from now on, as long as you're on the board.
Other business, if you remember, we set a work session from last week, and the weather prevented us from having, we still need to set this work session for other issues we need to do before we start working on budget. Jim?
The best date we found for our calendars, which may not work for everybody, is February the 21st, which is a Tuesday night. I don't know what everybody's got. Department heads also look at your calendars. Tuesday, February the 21st.
I'm open.
Is that Monday a week?
Tuesday, yeah, it's
Tuesday week?
Tuesday week. Monday's President's Day. That Monday is President's Day, the 20th.
What time you want to start, and what time you
We're
want to?
do it, we usually, I think we set the last one around 5:30, is that a problem, or do you want?
Well, we got state tournaments out here at the high school, so I'd like to attend them, and we cook some food, so I may not be able to make that.
I'm out of town.
Okay, so we
We'll
may need to.
push it into March.
Well, we can do the 27th or 28th, which is the following week, the last 2 days of the month.
I'm back by then.
Probably all right
I'm good with either one.
What
Let's
day?
just say the 28th, which is a Tuesday.
Yes.
Department heads, y'all got anything that's a major conflict right now that you know of? Y'all can let us know if we have to do something different, so.
Y'all, it's 5:30, which,
30's fine with me.
5:30?
It gives me time to get back from my like that. Just not.
5:30, okay, 5:30 on February 28th.
What, just give you a quick history, I've sat down with department heads, and I've asked all the department heads to look at their pay structure for their entire department. Over the years, we have, our management has got mashed together so much, they're gonna have to look and address that problem. And I'm asking them, we told them, they will be bringing a new pay chart to y'all, they're gonna go over it with y'all, and let y'all just look at it, tweak it, and, what we're gonna do is give them about 15 minutes or so, to present their pay scales and everything to you. But like I say, they're gonna do some work on, especially on the management positions they have. Chief? Brett?
So,
The Highway 45 water line, they made that tap on the existing line there in front of Lottie Cobb's. They crossed the road, they teed it off going in both directions, and as of today, as far as the 95% of the work was complete. They were going to put one more fire hydrant at the north, and then we'll be ready to fill it, flush it, and then for fire purposes, it will be in service, but we won't put customers on it until such time that it's sampled and get our battery locked and some things. But that line's been going pretty quickly, haven't had any big issues or anything like that with it, so it's almost complete.
I don't have anything other than, if you want me to talk about the safe haven.
Sure.
Safe haven, real quick rundown, safe haven baby boxes. I know we've seen WBBJ last month about a baby infant being put in a dumpster. Safe Haven has reached out to us. They've had some churches and other individuals in our community reached out to them about the option of possibly put one in Chester County, the city of Henderson. Normally, they like to put them in firehouses, so we've had a preliminary meeting with the mayor and some of the department heads about the feasibility of doing it here. So they just came and did a quick meeting with us, and they're sending us information. So I just wanted to let you guys in on that, be a little bit transparent about that we're talking in talks about that. So once we get a better idea about it, we'll bring it to the board.
Only thing I had, they have got our cameras installed, they like a few bugs working out, but they have them installed this week.
That's the security cameras, we have 16 security cameras at the maintenance shop, and also the police impound line. Jim? Diane? Alicia?
I had a couple questions. Captain Stewart mentioned last time about the Crime Initiative grant. Did we get any?
I think we're still waiting on it. You know, we're still waiting. Everything's been submitted. We just haven't heard anything yet.
The last thing, I think, Jim, you were gonna check about cost of perhaps turning on the soccer lights that were turned off so they get better lighting.
That
in the
is
park.
meeting with Tim Shears. Tim is coming out there and working, he was out of pocket. I talked to him on the phone, and we're gonna be meeting out there. Matter of fact, he should already go out there and look, but he's supposed to go out with Eric and get with me, and we're gonna put them up. Or what we're asking to do is also go probably see if we can't change the LEDs too out there. And we're also looking at, we got one pole, we're even talking about maybe dropping another pole somewhere else and see if we can get another pole dropped, which would give us light across the ditch more, people using that walking track.
Yeah, there's one pole on the main line that comes across there that's across by the ditch. We may be able to locate some lights on there. Of course, it can require a transformer and a couple other things. So that's something that he was working with Tim on, with Southwest.
Yes, they're supposed to be looking, coming back with proposals, and, but we have talked about it. And I asked about the question of LEDs and to look at that and see the cost and everything, get back with me on that, and they're looking at that up. Let's give me some figures back.
Usually over time, the LEDs pay for themselves.
They said, now, just a cleaner looking light.
That's all I have.
I just want to say thank you to the gas and water department. I know y'all were pretty busy during the ice, and I saw several places that y'all were out working in the weather, and it was pretty slippery. But I just thank you for always being there when our citizens need you. I appreciate you.
I want to say that, you know, the police department is doing a good job, and a lot of times we look at them as ticket writers. That's all we ever think about, you know, they give you a ticket, they give you a ticket. But we overlook a lot of times that the things they really do to help the county, and that saves lives. And I want to commend y'all for that, and if I can ever be a help to you in any way, I sure call.
And at this time, I don't have anything. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the regular meeting. So moved. This time, I'd like to call in order the beer board, which is the same as us, but I'd like to call that into order. We have one show cause hearing. It is, I think it's Kenny, you're here, from doing business at Zippy's, which is 3825 US Highway 45 North. Chief, who's
Jim?
Gary, we'll let you do.
So, I didn't bring the paperwork. So, Captain Hardy's who overseen this steam, what was the date?
December 15th.
December 15th, we used an undercover, well, 20-year-old and targeted all our stores in the city that sold alcohol. And they went to his store and he sold alcohol to a 20-year-old. They were charged in General Sessions Court and pled guilty.
Jim, you want to give us the options on that?
The options that you have under city ordinance, and I have to admit, there's been a typo and a conflict between the letters that was sent to Zippy's, the permit holder, and what's in your agenda. The law was recently changed where you can go up to a civil penalty up to $2,500. Previous years, we've only done $1,500. So his letter said $1,500, so I'll make you aware of that mistake to start with. You have a show cause hearing, and the beer board has the option to either suspend the license for a number of days, or you give the permit holder an option of paying this civil penalty in place of the suspension. This was the first offense that Zippy's had under this ownership. They've been in business, how long?
About almost 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. I think they had a violation with the previous owner, which would have been more than 5 years ago. And of course, anything, as long as there's only one violation in a 12-month period, your hands are somewhat tied as far as revocation. So that's pretty much the standard we've gone by and the beer board has in previous years. So the rest of the action is totally up to the beer board.
Was this you or one of your employees?
Yes.
You?
No, one of my employees.
Okay. Have you done retraining?
Yes, ma'am, we did in one of them.
Okay.
In the past, I think the option on the first offense, it's been $1,500, even though it's $2,500, I think the letter told it 15.
And the letter did tell him
$1,500.
And that's what we have done.
I think we've done past, but the option that we give, usually y'all, in the past, y'all give them the option of $1,500 or 3 months for revocation. Either suspension of the license.
3 months or 30?
I think 30 days.
30 days, I thought it was 30 days.
Yeah.
30 days on first offense. 30 days or 1,500, what the beer board has done in previous years. This has been the first one we've had probably in about
In a while.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's not because we're not checking.
Yeah, well, that's a good
They're
thing.
doing a good
I
job.
think they did have one in the county, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I guess it's then, make a motion that we can do what we've done in the past with you, sir. And even though it's gone up to 2,500, your letter said 1,500, so we are gonna say 1,500, or your choice of 30 days to suspend your
I'll
license.
pay 1,500.
I have that motion, do I have a second? Is there any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, signify no. You just get what you get.
Come to the office downstairs tomorrow or Monday
Okay,
with $1,500. We'll give you a receipt.
I'll give you a check right now.
If you want to write a check, I'll send you a receipt in the mail.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Is there anything else the board, the beer board needs to bring forward? I have a motion to adjourn the beer board. All in favor, get up.